it's a bit weird. It is a bit like going back to school and seeing all your mates again. But there's something very comforting and very almost relaxing about a third year. I mean, people have said, very nice you guys, that there is a sense of sort of confidence about a show that's been recommissioned, and you've kind of got that sort of swagger in your walk. And coming back on a third season when it's frankly been more successful than any of us could ever have thought, and you do have a different sort of stature and a different feeling in it, and it's nice to come back and see everyone again, you know.
And last time we saw Morgana, she'd been swept away, so can you tell us how you get back here?
Ooh, can I? I don't want to spoil it for you guys, but needless to say, the third season opens and a year has passed, and Morgana is found at the start of episode 1, and you discover that she has been duped by Morgause, and she's very apologetic and sees the error of her ways and things like that, and she apologizes to everyone, but the question is of Merlin doesn't completely trust her, and whether what she's saying is true, and you don't quite know which way it's going to go. So, you know, it's typical Merlin. It's the legend, but it's never the way that you think it's going to be. So prepare for surprises. I think the third series is darker, you know, and I think you could see that from the second series and the way that was going. I mean, definitely the last few episodes were much at and I think the third series follows on from that, and there's quite a bit of sort of, yeah, it's dark and there's more conflict, but at the same time it still does those great sort of one episode funny family, you know, comedy episodes that you had with the Troll last year and things like that. It still continues in that vein, but there's also more of a sense of a feeling of a continuous storyline this time, which is nice as well. So yeah, I'm gonna wait and see.
Will we see more of Morgana's magical element coming out?
I hope so. I'm telling you, I cannot wait for the bit where, you know, Merlin and Morgana having that big magical battle. But I'm not sure how soon the way that is, because, you know, you see in season 2, she's not in full control. And I think that's going to be a while in coming. You know, it's going to be, obviously the main magical being in the show is Merlin. He's the one who has the ability and the control of it, and Morgana's magic is very different. It's far more linked to her emotions, and once she gets her emotions and her fears and everything like that under control, I think her magic will follow. So I think she has to become more assured of who she is before she's able to do that.
What's Morgana's relationship with Merlin like now, considering what happened in the last series?
I think at the start of season 3 she honestly understands why he did what he did. And she's anxious to repair the relationship back to her, because at the end of the day Merlin was the one person who understood her and who knew the truth about her and empathized with her, and I think you see in episode 1 her trying to get back to that. So
do you think he trusts her?
I think he's reticent to trust her. Do you know what I mean? It's because she is apologetic, and he does, I think, want to believe her, but, you know, experience has taught him to be wary. Quite rightly so.
What kind of creatures and enemies will we be seeing in this series?
The first couple of episodes are actually, the villains are more people rather than magical monsters, which is actually quite nice. It's a difference. So we have the very lovely Millie Fox as Morgause coming back, and she has a partner in crime being played by Tom Ellis, fantastically actually, head to toe in leather, which is interesting, and I think that might be sort of a triangle that you might see more of as the season goes on, and definitely the sort of the Morgana-Morgause relationship is a very important one for Merlin and our telling of the story, so hopefully she'll be back. And then we have Mark Williams playing a goblin, voicing a goblin in one of the episodes, which we had the read-through, and he was hilarious, I swear, in stitches. So we've got some good ones, you know. You never think, because in the first season it was this little show. It was this tiny little show that was filmed down in Cardiff, and it was about magic, and nobody really knew. And it just keeps getting bigger, and the calibre of people we get coming in, you know, at the start of every read-through they sort of let us know, and just stand there open-mouthed, you know, because we're on to sort of, I'm not going to give you away any of them, but we're on to about the 9th episode, and the guest stars are just getting better and better and better, and shockingly so. So,
what else do you think the series holds for Morgana?
What else does it hold? More power, one can only hope. Fingers crossed. The thing is, we don't actually know. I mean, when we get the scripts, it's much a surprise to us as it is to anyone else, and the producers keep quite, you know, keep quite quiet about what they have coming up, more often than not, because sometimes the script works and sometimes it doesn't, so they don't tell us what's coming up because, you know, in case we get really attached to something and it doesn't happen. And as well, it gives you that element of surprise. It gets to the end of filming a block and you know there's a new script coming and you kind of, everyone's going, oh, what do you think's going to happen, and blah, 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 blah. So it keeps everything fresher for you. So I actually have no idea what's going to happen to Morgana at the end of season 3, and I actually can't wait to find out. Because Merlin is never the way that you expect. And I know I keep coming back to this, but it's always something out of left field. So as much as I'm waiting, I'm sure you are too.